Hello viewers. Welcome to Divine Revelation, where we give our online families the platform to share in their near-death experiences, in order to encourage and be a blessing to many. Please consider giving us a thumbs up, hitting the subscription button, and clicking the bell icon to be notified of our new videos. Doing so is free and it helps us grow. Thanks for your support. My names are David Kingsley. I'm a pastor and I was posted to my province in 2015. I felt a mix of anticipation and humility. It wasn't my first time being invited to minister in another place, but the reception I experienced that day left me speechless. As soon as I stepped off the plane, I saw the pastor waiting for me with a welcoming team from his church. They weren't alone. Standing nearby was a formal protocol team from the office of the governor, accompanied by members of the local police and security services. The pastor approached me with a warm handshake and said, "We're honored to have you here, man of God." From the airport, we traveled in a convoy to the hotel. Police vehicles accompanied us, their sirens silent but their presence unmistakable. When we arrived at the hotel, I was greeted with the same level of care. The hotel staff seemed aware of my arrival and went out of their way to ensure I was comfortable. That night, as I settled into my room, I took a moment to reflect. The warm hospitality I'd received wasn't just a cultural custom, it was an expression of honor and reverence for the work of the Lord. I felt both humbled and deeply grateful. I prayed, asking God to guide me and use me to fulfill His purpose in this place. The month I spent in the province testifying about the Lord and sharing my experiences with angelic manifestations was one of the most intense periods of my life. Every day was a marathon. I would spend hours in prayer and preparation, asking the Lord for the right words to speak. The pastor was deeply involved, often sitting in the front row with a notebook, writing down points from my testimony. After each service, he would tell me, "Man of God, you don't realize what the Lord is doing here. Lives are being transformed." But as the days turned into weeks, the pace began to take its toll on me physically. Speaking for hours each day, sometimes twice or three times in a single day, left my voice strained. One evening after the service, the pastor noticed. He pulled me aside and said, "You've given so much, but you need to rest. Let us take care of you for now." Reluctantly, I agreed. The pastor suggested that I return to the capital to recuperate for a while. He assured me that the church would continue praying for me and that the seeds I had planted would continue to grow. Before I left, the church held a small gathering to pray for me and bless me. Returning to continue the testimony. As my wedding approached, I couldn't help but reflect on the unexpected kindness of the church in the province. Even while I was in the capital, preparing for the wedding, the pastor and several members of the church stayed in touch, calling to check on me and sending financial support. 2 weeks after the wedding, I returned to the province, as promised, to continue my testimony. One evening in the hotel, while sharing stories of angelic visitations with the pastor, we suddenly felt a strong wind blowing in the room. It came out of nowhere, and before we could process it, I noticed something extraordinary. The wall of the hotel room began to move as if it were alive. In that moment, an angel of the Lord entered the room, stepping through the moving wall. He spoke of faithfulness and the principle of honoring what belongs to God. He revealed that blessings are often withheld or released based on how people treat the servants of God and fulfill their spiritual responsibilities. His words were direct yet filled with divine insight. As quickly as he had come, the angel disappeared. I sat in silence for a while, deeply moved by the encounter. The pastor, sensing that something extraordinary had happened, remained quiet, waiting for me to gather my thoughts. During one of my testimonies in the church, as I spoke about the Lord and angelic manifestations, I suddenly noticed something unusual. An angel of the Lord had entered the church. He moved silently among the congregation, his presence powerful yet gentle. As I continued speaking, I saw the angel hover above the church, not far from where I stood. As I stood there, finishing my testimony, a brilliant light began to emanate from the angel's chest. The light spread out in beams, filling the entire church. After a few moments, the light gradually faded, and the angel disappeared. The congregation remained still, deeply moved by the experience, even though many of them hadn't seen what I had witnessed. After service, while resting in my hotel room after a long day of ministry, the angel appeared again. The angel began to speak directly to me, his voice calm but filled with authority, as he explained the profound connection between faithfulness and blessing. Identifying himself as faithful, he addressed my unspoken questions, saying, "You wonder why I am here instead of at your church. I am here because of the care and hospitality this church has shown you. They have demonstrated faithfulness in honoring God's servant, and we, the angels of the churches, respond to such faithfulness by releasing blessings." His words struck me deeply, as he elaborated on the principle that those who are faithful with what belongs to God will themselves receive faithfulness from the angels and the blessings they carry. As the angel continued, he revealed something that both astonished and humbled me. "Your church in the capital has failed to show the same faithfulness, so the blessings I hold for them remain withheld." The angel's presence filled the room with a palpable sense of divine authority, and though I had so many questions forming in my mind, they seemed unnecessary as the answers were already being provided in his speech. He spoke not just to inform but to convict, and I felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility to share this truth with others. In 2018, during a tithing service at my church, something extraordinary unfolded that left a lasting impression on me. As the congregation worshiped, 15 individuals came forward with their tithes, and I began to pray for each of them individually. As I laid my hands on each person, I suddenly became aware of a profound spiritual presence in the room. One by one, I saw angels descending into the church. Each angel moved gracefully to stand beside the person I prayed for, remaining by their side. By the time I had finished praying for all 15 tithers, 15 angels were present in the church, standing watch over each of them. The other angels who had descended during the worship gradually departed, but these 15 remained steadfast. Later, during my usual early morning prayer at 5 a.m., I found myself encountering these angels again. It was as if I left my physical body, one of the angels spoke to me with clarity and authority, explaining the mystery of the tithe. The angel said, "Each tithe is significant. It summons an angel who is assigned to the giver. These angels are sent to protect, guide, and cut the ties of bondage and ancestral covenants that often oppress people's lives. Without tithing, many remain vulnerable, as these ties are left intact, and houses are left open to demonic oppression." The angel then took me on a spiritual journey, showing me the reality of these bondages. I saw my own house, and in its corners were red ribbon-like fabrics tied and stretching infinitely. The angel explained that these represented ancestral covenants, agreements made by my forebears with spirits of the forest and water, seeking power or beauty. When you tithe, the angel said, an angel comes to your home and cuts one of these ties. This is how deliverance begins, one tie at a time, through consistent acts of faith and obedience. The angel emphasized that deliverance is not merely a one-time event but a process requiring virtue, faithfulness, and commitment to God's principles. This encounter transformed my understanding of tithing. It revealed not just its spiritual significance but its role in securing deliverance and breaking generational bondages. I was led into a profound spiritual experience that revealed a hidden dimension of ancestral ties and their impact. An angel appeared before me and spoke about the unseen forces that often bind people to their past through ancestral covenants. He explained that these ties, often made by previous generations with spiritual entities for power, wealth, or protection can continue to affect descendants, manifesting as hindrances or bondages in their lives. The angel emphasized that this process requires consistency and faith. My understanding of tithing evolved into a deep appreciation for its spiritual power. Such encounter revealed that every tithe carries with it a spiritual virtue. When given in faith, it not only releases blessings but also invites angelic intervention. An angel once explained to me that each act of tithing sends an angel into the life of the giver. These angels are assigned to cut ties with ancestral bondages and protect the individual from spiritual attacks. Without this act of faithfulness, many homes and families remain vulnerable to the devourer, the spiritual forces that thrive on disobedience and neglect. The angel further revealed that blessings are not random but are governed by spiritual principles. Faithfulness to God's instructions, be it through tithing, serving, or relationship with God, aligns us with His will and paves the way for both physical and spiritual breakthroughs. The angel of the Lord spoke one final message to me. The angel reminded me of the importance of sharing these messages with others, emphasizing that many are unaware of the spiritual battles tied to faithfulness, tithing, and obedience. Then, as suddenly as it all began, I felt a shift in the atmosphere. The angels who had been present began to depart, each moving with purpose and direction. A profound stillness settled over me, and I realized it was time to return. The sensation of re-entering my physical body was disorienting at first, but it was accompanied by a sense of peace and clarity. I opened my eyes to find myself in the same place where I had begun, but something felt different. My heart was filled with joy, awe, and a renewed determination to live out the truths I had been shown. It was a reminder that the spiritual realm is real, that God's principles are unchanging, and that His blessings and deliverance are accessible to those who trust in Him. With this understanding, I call on you listening key into obedience to God's words and principles every day. God bless you.